Have you ever stopped and noticed your breath? Not to control it, but simply to observe it? In that moment, something profound happens. You realize you are not your racing thoughts, your restless emotions, or even the stress of your daily life. You are the observer behind it all. And within this simple awareness lies the power to reshape your reality. The observer breath is more than a mindfulness practice. It is a gateway to inner mastery. By learning to witness your breathing, you unlock calm in chaos, clarity in confusion, and balance in moments of overwhelm. It teaches you to separate from the noise of the mind and access the stillness that has always been within. In this video, we'll explore how this powerful practice transforms your perception, your energy, and ultimately the way you experience reality itself. 1. Awareness of breath. The simple act of breathing is often overlooked because it happens automatically, without our conscious involvement. Yet within this ordinary rhythm lies an extraordinary power, the ability to anchor ourselves in the present moment. When you bring your attention to the breath, you shift from being carried away by endless thoughts to actually experiencing life as it unfolds, here and now. Each inhale and exhale becomes a doorway into awareness, pulling you out of the distractions of the past and worries about the future. Breath awareness is not about controlling or forcing your breathing. It's about watching it with gentle curiosity. Notice the coolness of the air as it enters your nostrils, the subtle pause at the top of the inhale, the warmth as it leaves the body. Pay attention to how the chest rises, how the belly expands, how the body naturally knows how to keep you alive without effort. This simple observation dissolves the noise of the mind and grounds you in the body. The beauty of this practice is its accessibility. You can do it anywhere, at any time. In moments of stress, when the mind races with worries, turning your focus to the breath creates a bridge back to calm. Unlike external distractions or temporary fixes, breath awareness is always available, always reliable. By noticing the breath, you begin to notice yourself, not the identity built from thoughts, but the awareness that silently observes everything. This presence brings subtle shifts. Colors appear brighter, sounds become clearer, and your sense of time slows down. The world doesn't change, but the way you experience it does. Suddenly, ordinary moments carry a depth you may have missed before. Even the act of sitting quietly can feel profound when anchored in the breath. Ultimately, awareness of breath is the foundation of inner transformation. It teaches you to return to simplicity, to reconnect with the essence of being. By practicing it regularly, you create a habit of presence. Instead of being pulled into the chaos of life, you learn to rest in a steady rhythm that never leaves you. The breath becomes not just a biological function, but a sacred reminder of awareness itself, a reminder that you are alive, here, and fully present. 2. Separation from thoughts. One of the greatest challenges we face is identifying too closely with our thoughts. From the moment we wake up, the mind begins its endless commentary, planning, judging, comparing, remembering. Most people believe these thoughts define who they are, but in truth, thoughts are like passing clouds, while you are the sky that contains them. The practice of the observer breath allows you to see this distinction clearly. When you watch your breathing, you create a gap between yourself and the mental chatter, realizing that you are not the voice in your head, but the awareness listening to it. This separation is profoundly liberating. Instead of being consumed by every worry, story, or judgment the mind produces, you begin to notice thoughts as temporary events. They rise, they linger for a moment, and then they fade, much like waves on the surface of the ocean. The observer within you remains untouched, steady, and calm, no matter how turbulent those waves may appear. Breath awareness gives you a focal point that keeps you rooted, preventing you from being swept away by every mental current. When you start to witness thoughts in this way, you also realize how repetitive and patterned they are. Many of the same worries replay day after day, creating cycles of stress, fear, or doubt. But once you stand back and watch these thought loops from a place of awareness, they begin to lose their grip. They no longer define your reality, they become background noise, while you rest in the stillness of observation. This shift creates space for greater freedom. Instead of reacting impulsively to every thought, believing it, fearing it, or resisting it, you can choose how to respond. You become the master of your inner world rather than a captive of it. Over time, this practice nurtures a quiet confidence as you discover that your true identity is not the stream of thoughts, but the timeless presence that observes them. Separation from thoughts is not about suppressing the mind or trying to stop thinking altogether. It's about recognizing that your awareness is bigger than your thoughts. This recognition opens the door to peace, clarity, and creativity. By stepping back into the role of the observer, you reclaim your inner power and awaken to a deeper, freer way of living. 3. Shift from reaction to response. Life constantly presents us with challenges, unexpected situations, difficult people, and emotional triggers. Most of the time, we react instantly, often without awareness. These reactions are driven by old conditioning, habits, and unresolved emotions. They come fast, automatic, and sometimes destructive, leaving us regretful later. But when you practice the observer breath, something remarkable happens. You create space between the stimulus and your action. That space is where choice lives. By watching your breath in moments of stress or conflict, you interrupt the chain of automatic reactivity. Instead of snapping in anger, drowning in anxiety, or collapsing into fear, the breath anchors you in the present moment. It acts as a buffer, allowing emotions to rise without immediately controlling your behavior. In this pause, clarity enters. You are no longer blindly reacting. You are consciously choosing how to respond. Responses are different from reactions. A reaction comes from impulse, but a response comes from awareness. A reaction is fueled by survival instincts, but a response is guided by wisdom. With breath awareness, you begin to see situations more clearly. You realize you don't need to match negativity with negativity, nor do you need to let circumstances dictate your inner state. Instead, you act from calmness and understanding. This practice is especially powerful in relationships. Arguments, misunderstandings, or criticism can easily trigger reactive patterns. But if you take a single mindful breath before speaking, the energy shifts. You allow yourself a moment to process, to feel, and to decide whether your words will heal or harm. Over time, this conscious breathing transforms how you interact with the world. People begin to notice your steadiness, your patience, and your grounded presence. Shifting from reaction to response also changes how you view challenges. Rather than labeling everything as a threat, you begin to see obstacles as opportunities for growth. This is not about ignoring emotions, but allowing them to pass through you without hijacking your peace. The observer breath turns emotional storms into passing weather, while you remain steady like the sky above. Ultimately, this shift is the mark of inner mastery. It empowers you to live intentionally, not automatically. Each conscious response strengthens your freedom, teaching you that while you cannot control life's events, you can always control the way you meet them. 4. Calming the nervous system. Modern life constantly stimulates the nervous system. Alarms, deadlines, screens, noise, and worries keep the body in a state of tension. This overactivation pushes us into the fight or flight mode, where the heart races, breathing becomes shallow, and the body prepares for survival. While useful in real danger, living in this state every day is exhausting and harmful. The observer breath provides a natural antidote, gently guiding the nervous system back into balance. When you breathe consciously, slowly, and with awareness, you signal to the body that it is safe. The simple act of lengthening the exhale activates the parasympathetic nervous system, often called the rest and digest mode. In this state, the heart rate slows, blood pressure drops, and muscles begin to release stored tension. The body shifts from defense into healing, restoration, and equilibrium. Breath awareness also improves the rhythm of the nervous system. Many people unknowingly breathe in short, irregular patterns that keep the body unsettled. By observing and allowing the breath to deepen naturally, you restore a steady rhythm that the nervous system can harmonize with. This rhythm communicates stability, and the body responds by softening its stress signals. Over time, this practice rewires the body's default setting from anxious to calm. The calming effect extends beyond the body into the mind. When the nervous system relaxes, mental clarity arises. Thoughts slow down, concentration improves, and you feel more centered. This is why many traditions use conscious breathing as the foundation of meditation and mindfulness. It prepares the mind by quieting the body first. In moments of overwhelm, the observer breath can act as a reset button. Just 3 slow, mindful breaths can shift you from agitation to calm presence. Unlike external solutions, caffeine, distraction, or escape, breath awareness works from within, addressing the root of imbalance. It doesn't numb you, it restores you. By practicing regularly, your nervous system becomes more resilient. Stressful events may still occur, but they no longer throw you into panic as easily. You recover faster, respond with more patience, and carry a sense of inner steadiness. In this way, calming the nervous system through the breath is not just about relaxation, it is about building lasting inner strength. 5. Clarity of perception. The way you perceive the world is shaped by the state of your mind. When thoughts are scattered, emotions are unsettled, and stress weighs heavily, your perception becomes clouded. You see situations not as they truly are, but through the lens of confusion and distortion. The observer breath is a tool that clears this fog, sharpening your awareness and allowing you to see life with greater accuracy and depth. When you focus on the breath, the mind's endless chatter begins to quiet down. Instead of being pulled in 10 different directions, your attention narrows to the simplicity of inhaling and exhaling. This act of centering brings order to the inner landscape. As the noise subsides, you begin to notice subtleties that were once overlooked. The details in your surroundings, the tone behind someone's words, or the quiet signals your own body sends. This clarity transforms decision-making. In a clouded state, choices often arise from impulse or fear, leading to regret later. But when the mind is clear, you are able to weigh situations with calm objectivity. The observer breath teaches you to pause, observe, and then act from a grounded place. This doesn't just improve big life decisions, it also refines the small, everyday choices that shape your reality. Clarity of perception also changes how you experience beauty and presence. Simple things, a gentle breeze, the sound of flowing water, the warmth of sunlight, begin to feel vivid and alive. What once seemed ordinary becomes extraordinary because your perception is no longer dulled by distraction. You begin to engage with life directly, without the heavy filter of constant thinking. Another profound shift is in how you perceive yourself. With a clear mind, self-judgment softens. You see your strengths more honestly and your flaws without harshness. Breath awareness creates the space to witness yourself with compassion instead of criticism. This clear self-perception becomes a foundation for growth because you are no longer blinded by denial or distorted by insecurity. Ultimately, clarity of perception is about alignment with truth. It enables you to see reality as it is, not as your fears or desires project it to be. By practicing the observer breath, you train your awareness to cut through illusion and touch the deeper reality beneath appearances. This clarity is liberating. It restores your ability to live authentically and wisely. 6. Inner stillness. Beneath the constant activity of the mind, there exists a quiet space of stillness. Most people never touch it because they are caught in an endless cycle of thoughts, emotions, and external demands. The observer breath opens the doorway to this hidden depth. By watching the breath with gentle awareness, you begin to notice the silence beneath the noise, the calm beneath the storm. This stillness is not something you create. It has always been there, waiting to be discovered. When you sit with your breath, distractions slowly fade into the background. Thoughts may still arise, but instead of following them, you simply observe. Over time, the mind's restlessness softens, like ripples settling on the surface of a lake. In that stillness, you experience yourself not as the thinker or the doer, but as the pure awareness in which everything happens. It is a profound recognition that you are more than the chaos of life. You are the quiet space that holds it all. Inner stillness is powerful because it is deeply restorative. It gives the nervous system a chance to reset, the emotions a chance to settle, and the body a chance to heal. But more than that, it reveals a dimension of peace that does not depend on circumstances. Unlike happiness, which comes and goes with external events, stillness is steady, unshaken, and always available within you. This stillness also changes how you engage with life. Instead of being pulled into every drama, you begin to carry an inner quietness into daily situations. You listen more deeply, speak more thoughtfully, and act with greater patience. Others may still be caught in noise and haste, but your calm presence becomes a grounding force. This influence is subtle yet powerful. It inspires peace in those around you without you needing to say a word. The greatest gift of inner stillness is that it reconnects you with your true essence. In stillness, you realize that you are not defined by your roles, achievements, or struggles. You are the awareness that quietly witnesses it all. From this recognition comes freedom, the freedom to live fully without being enslaved by constant inner noise. The observer breath is the pathway to this realization, gently guiding you back to the silence that is always within. 7. Energy alignment. Every breath you take is more than just oxygen entering the body, it is life force energy. In many traditions, this energy is called prana, chi, or simply vital energy. It nourishes not only the physical body, but also the subtle layers of your being. When the breath is shallow, erratic, or unconscious, this energy becomes scattered, leaving you feeling drained, unfocused, or disconnected. The observer breath restores harmony by aligning this energy with awareness, creating balance from the inside out. As you breathe consciously, the flow of energy becomes smooth and rhythmic. Each inhale draws in vitality, while each exhale releases stagnation and heaviness. With observation, you notice how certain breaths energize you, while others soften tension. This natural rhythm allows your body and mind to function in harmony rather than conflict. Energy alignment through breath is like tuning an instrument. When everything is in balance, the music of life flows more beautifully. This alignment affects more than just physical well-being. Emotionally conscious breathing helps release blocked energy stored from past experiences. Unprocessed anger, fear, or grief often remain trapped in the body, subtly influencing your mood and behavior. By observing the breath, you create space for these energies to move and dissolve. The process is gentle but powerful, allowing healing without force. Spiritually, energy alignment through breath connects you to something larger than yourself. Many people report feeling more grounded, centered, and connected to a deeper flow of existence. It's as if the observer breath reopens a channel to your inner source, reminding you that you are not separate from life, but a vital part of its unfolding. This shift brings a sense of unity and purpose that transcends the ordinary. When your energy is aligned, daily life feels different. Tasks that once drained you become easier, relationships feel lighter, and creativity flows naturally. Instead of pushing through fatigue and resistance, you move with the rhythm of life. Others can sense this alignment too. They may not understand it, but they feel the calm, vibrant energy you radiate. Energy alignment through the observer breath is not about control, but about allowing. By simply noticing and flowing with your breath, you harmonize body, mind, and spirit. In this harmony, life stops feeling fragmented and instead becomes a seamless expression of balance and vitality. 8. Emotional regulation. Emotions are powerful forces that shape how we experience life. Joy lifts us, anger burns within us, fear tightens our chest, and sadness weighs heavily on our hearts. Too often, people are swept away by these emotions, reacting impulsively or suppressing them until they explode later. The observer breath offers a path to balance, teaching us how to regulate emotions without denying them or being enslaved by them. When strong emotions arise, the body is the first place they appear. Anxiety quickens the breath, anger heats the body, and sadness slows everything down. By turning your attention to the breath, you gain direct access to these emotional currents. Instead of being trapped in the storm, you step into the role of observer, watching how the emotion moves through your body with each inhale and exhale. This awareness prevents you from being consumed and allows you to process emotions more skillfully. Breathing with awareness does not push emotions away. It gives them space to flow. For example, in anger, the breath often becomes sharp and shallow. By consciously slowing and softening the breath, you signal to the body that it is safe to release tension. In sadness, where the breath feels heavy, mindful breathing helps create lightness and presence, preventing you from sinking deeper into despair. The observer breath becomes a gentle bridge that carries you through emotional turbulence into calm waters. Over time, this practice cultivates emotional resilience. You learn that emotions, like thoughts, are temporary visitors. They rise, peak, and eventually pass. The breath anchors you while this cycle unfolds, reminding you that no feeling defines you permanently. This realization brings freedom. You no longer fear your emotions or feel the need to run from them. Instead, you embrace them as signals, teachers, and energy that can be transformed. Emotional regulation through breath also deepens your relationships. When you are not hijacked by anger or overwhelmed by fear, you communicate more clearly and listen more compassionately. You respond rather than react, offering others the gift of your calm presence. This steadiness builds trust and harmony with those around you. Ultimately, the observer breath reveals that you are not at the mercy of emotions. You are the awareness that feels them, learns from them, and lets them go. With practice, every breath becomes a tool to transform emotional chaos into emotional wisdom. 9. Access to higher states. Human consciousness has layers. On the surface, we move through daily routines, managing tasks and responding to challenges. Beneath that lies the emotional world, where feelings shape our moods and decisions. But beyond both of these exists a deeper dimension, a higher state of awareness, where peace, intuition, and clarity naturally arise. The observer breath serves as a gateway to this realm, opening doors that remain closed when we live only on the surface. When you watch your breath with full presence, the mind begins to slow. The chatter that usually fills your awareness grows quieter, leaving more space between thoughts. In this space, something extraordinary emerges, a heightened sense of being. You may feel more expansive, more connected, and more aware of subtleties that were previously hidden. It is as though you have stepped out of ordinary consciousness into a more luminous state of mind. In these moments, intuition becomes stronger. Insights arise effortlessly, as if whispered from within. Questions that once felt heavy find answers without struggle. This happens because higher states are not clouded by fear or doubt. They reveal truth with simplicity. The observer breath allows you to access this clarity by shifting you out of the noise of the analytical mind into the stillness of direct awareness. Many spiritual traditions describe these states as connection with the soul, alignment with the divine, or union with the universe. While words may differ, the experience is similar, a sense of wholeness and transcendence that goes beyond the limits of ordinary thinking. It is not an escape from reality, but an expansion of it, where life feels richer, deeper, and infused with meaning. Accessing higher states also changes how you live day to day. Decisions are guided not just by logic, but by wisdom. Creativity flows more freely, as if tapped from a boundless source. Even challenges are seen from a broader perspective, where solutions reveal themselves more naturally. The observer breath becomes the bridge between your ordinary self and the deeper intelligence within you. Ultimately, higher states are not reserved for mystics or rare moments. They are available to anyone who cultivates awareness. Through the simple act of observing your breath, you align with a deeper level of consciousness that empowers, enlightens, and awakens you to the vastness of who you truly are. 10. Reality shaping. Your reality is not simply what happens around you. It is how you perceive, interpret, and respond to those events. Two people can face the same situation, yet experience it entirely differently, depending on the state of their inner world. The observer breath gives you the power to shape reality from within by shifting the lens through which you view life. When you breathe with awareness, you step into the role of observer rather than participant in the chaos of the mind. This shift changes the way reality unfolds for you. Instead of reacting blindly to circumstances, you begin to respond with clarity and choice. That choice alters outcomes. A stressful moment that could have spiraled into conflict becomes an opportunity for peace. A setback that might have fueled despair becomes a lesson in resilience. In this way, the inner shift created by the observer breath directly reshapes your outer experience. The breath also transforms the energy you radiate. When your inner state is tense, the world reflects that tension back to you. When you are calm and aligned, life seems to flow more smoothly. This is not mystical thinking, but the natural effect of perception and energy. People respond differently to your presence, opportunities unfold more easily, and challenges feel less threatening because you approach them from a stable foundation. Over time, practicing the observer breath rewires your sense of identity. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and begin recognizing your role as a co-creator of your reality. The world is no longer something that merely happens to you. It becomes something you actively shape with awareness, intention, and presence. Perhaps the most profound shift is that reality begins to feel less hostile and more supportive. Because your perception is clearer and your emotions are balanced, you see possibilities where you once saw problems. The same outer events occur, but your inner interpretation changes everything. The breath teaches you that reality is not fixed. It is fluid, molded by the quality of your awareness. In essence, the observer breath is not just about calming the mind or easing stress. It is about reclaiming your creative power. By changing within, you change the world you live in. Reality itself becomes a mirror, reflecting the state of your inner consciousness. The observer breath is a reminder that transformation doesn't begin outside, it begins within. Every mindful breath you take is a step toward peace, clarity, and a new reality shaped by awareness. If this message touched you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Quantum Core for more insights on inner power and higher consciousness. Before you leave, whisper a prayer. May I live with awareness and peace. Comment it below and affirm your journey today.